I'm Keith Kreischer, the Executive Director of the IMC. First of all, thanks to Embedded World for allowing us to present this, this conference content. Certainly we feel that cybersecurity is an almost existential issue for the IoT sector. So, my first task is to introduce my organization. The IMC is the largest trade group serving and dedicated to the IoT sector. Globally, we have 28,000 rank and file members who are qualified product makers, manufacturers, OEMs, apps developers, and enterprise users that actually deploy IoT solutions in the field. Our board is made up of 30 of the most influential technology providers that are connecting devices today. My second task is to just give you a little background on the IMC and what we've been doing in cybersecurity. Practically 18 months ago, we really started concentrating on it, seeing the risk involved in the Cyber Resilience Act and other pieces of regulation, by the way, including NIS2, RED, FCC label, JC Star, PSTI, and we formed a joint task force on cybersecurity with the Global Certification Forum, the large telecom certifying body. We went out, we created content channels that served the security segment. We did some fairly intensive surveying among our own members. And at the end of a year, the task force, which was essentially a year-long feasibility study, concluded that it is possible to create a universal global standard set for IoT cybersecurity, and we will continue to work with the Global Certification Forum to make that happen. More recently, the IMC board voted to agree that we will not, in fact, be creating standards on our own. We will try to assemble a set of existing standards, and that one of the things where we really wanted to shift focus was away from certification and towards documentation. When it comes to the CRA, our belief is that documentation is at least as important as any kind of certification out there, and indeed the CRA does not call for certification. More recently, at the Consumer Electronics Show, we began reaching out to our own members. Just last week, we signed an agreement with a memo of understanding with Somos, who is the telephone registry provider for the US, Canada, and the Caribbean. So a company used to dealing with very large databases and complex permissioning to begin really working on developing this compliance management tool that I'm going to talk about. And here at this show, we're reaching out to the broader ecosystem. That's what I'm doing today. We have a panel of experts back there that'll be there to answer any questions. We'll only take Q&A today as time permits. We got a lot to get through. Why the IMC? Again, we have 28,000 rank and file members. We are a membership organization that's neutral to vendors and technology layers. Our adopters come from all areas of the IoT landscape. Our board includes companies that are doing any number of things, including hardware, firmware, cloud, connectivity. We're a global organization, so roughly 30% of our rank and file comes from North America, 25% from Asia, and 25% from Europe. And we cover 30 different vertical markets of application, everything from medical device manufacturing to energy smart grid to retail point of sale to smart cities. We also are the largest IoT go-to-market platform. We have 10 push content channels, online events. We have a large online library, and we're the exclusive IoT partner both for Consumer Electronics Show and Embedded World, which is why we're here. Why powered by Somos? Again, Somos is a very neutral organization, almost a government entity. They are the telephone administrator for North America, and they've been a trusted source for major telecoms for many years. They have already developed a device registry that includes a lot of the functionality that we want to see ending up in a CRA compliance tool. That product of theirs, Somos ID, tracks device identities, and lists their security attributes. So we feel like we're 50, maybe 75% of the way there already. And then finally, Somos is an extremely secure provider of services. They're SOC 2 compliant, which is the absolute highest level, and they are expert at handling letters of authorization. What do we expect this tool to do? Basically, we're looking at a database, a repository of documentation for IoT firmware and hardware that's continuously updated and mapped to all of the relevant regulations. Our members, and indeed the entire IoT ecosystem, is looking for a single pane solution where manufacturers can go and look at the componentry that's in whatever it is they're selling, because they're the ones that are going to be on the line for CRA, and find the documentation in the firmware for those components. We're talking about a system that will be organized according to SKUs, not according to code, not according to vendors, because the CRA will require it. Again, mapped regulations to SKUs, it's not a checklist. And finally, we realize that the CRA, one of the big requirements of the CRA is in fact continuous monitoring, and that is a major part of our thinking. How does it look? Basically, if you look at the left side of that screen, users are the ones, we consider those to be product manufacturers, and those are the ones who are going to carry liability under the CRA. We assume that they will get onto the system and make queries about SKUs and the SBoM documentation and other critical cybersecurity information in a pattern that moves from right to left. So while the finished product manufacturer carries liability directly, we assume that everybody to the left of them will carry indirect liability. Suppliers, on the other hand, we hope to make it as easy as possible for them to upload their SKUs and indeed any critical information required for cybersecurity. And at the same time, we hope to allow those suppliers to provide ancillary services to the users that are requiring the information. What's in it for suppliers? Reduced cost in managing SBoMs. Many of our IMC board companies already have complete cybersecurity staffing and processes, but there are several that don't, and indeed I've talked to a lot of suppliers here at the show that don't have internal infrastructure to handle cybersecurity in a way that the CRA demands. So we're hoping that this will provide a system for them to do that and ease their pain a little bit. We hope to have automated inputs and outputs wherever possible. There is no doubt that a system like this will increase the speed of suppliers being able to react to breaches. Again, a critical requirement under the CRA, which calls for a response within 72 hours to a breach. We've automated notifications for critical firmware vulnerabilities. Again, to repeat, we've added opportunities for suppliers to conduct concierge services and actually get paid for it. And in terms of any costs involved in suppliers depositing, inputting their data into the system, we hope that we can make that as painless as possible. What's in it for users? It's a single pane solution. We know from surveying our own membership that users want a single pane of glass where they can go look up a SKU and see whether that SKU is compliant with regulation in Europe to start with. I mean, Europe is indeed far ahead of most of the rest of the world, but also in Asia, also in North America, or wherever they're deploying. It enables an immediate response on the part of a manufacturer, so it should generate them with the documentation they need to show European authorities that they're CRA compliant. It's a nested approach, so as it moves, in that previous diagram you saw, as we move up the supply chain upstream, they should be able to get documentation for all of the components and subcomponents that they're dealing with. And then finally, we hope to create a system that can deal with the scale and the volume. We know what we're up against, but it's big, and we hope to provide a system that can in fact deal with the volume of documentation that we're talking about. We know how extensive SBoMs can be. So with that, I have a panel of experts at the back, including Mark Plant. Mark, raise your hand. Fred Jentz, Fred, give us a shout, and others who are here ready to answer your questions. If you do have questions about this new system,